This is my science fair project. The question was, what is the effect of salt in the evaporation of water? And the hypothesis was, if the amount of salt is changed, then the water could evaporate at different rates. The materials I used were 216 milliliter tap water for each cup, Wharton iodized salt, one 237 milliliter measuring cup, one measuring spoon, one table, one black marker, one ruler, a number 2 pencil, 5 glass cups, and a phone timer. The procedures I used was number 1, get all the materials ready. Number 2, fill the cups with 216 milliliters of water each, or 6 ounces of water each. Number 3 was measure the salt into each of the cups. Each cup had a different measurement. The first cup was 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The second cup was half teaspoon of salt. The third cup was 3/4 teaspoon of salt. The fourth cup was 1 teaspoon of salt. The fifth cup was 1.5 teaspoon of salt. And make sure the salt is not sitting at the bottom of the cup, so you have to stir the salt in water so it's flowing. The next step is take 1 cup at a time and pour the water on the ground. You have to time the water, the evaporation rate. So once the water is evaporated, you stop the timer and you record any changes. The variables I used was the independent variable, which was the amount of salt that is changed. The dependent variable was the different rates of evaporation, and the control variable was the weather will be the same for each trial. Salt water contains 3.5% salt and is found in oceans and seas. Freshwater runoff affects how much salt is put into the water. Many animals in oceans and seas rely on salt water to live. The salt primarily comes from rocks on the land and from underwater volcanoes in the seas. Normal water usually takes about 17 minutes to evaporate. My hypothesis was correct because I thought that the amount of salt could change the evaporation rate. Studies show that the more salt in the water, the slower the evaporation rate. In my trials, the cup with the more salt, which is the 1 teaspoon of salt, took the longest to evaporate, the highest being 32 minutes. The ones with less salt, which was the 1/4 cup and a 1/8 cup, took less minutes, which was about 23 minutes to 27 minutes. That is all for my science fair project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.